Welcome back to Spoilers, man. We wouldn't even have a movie to talk about tonight if it weren't for our guest, man. You know why? Because he created Spider-Man and Iron Man and the X-Men and the Hulk and the Avengers. It's insane. Ladies and gentlemen, in this room, you will go for the rest of your life and you will be able to tell people that you met a living legend. Please give it up for the Mark Twain of comic books, Stan Lee.
Hiya, Kevin. Wow. You left out Doctor Strange, the Black Panther, the Silver Surfer. What kind of guy are you? What kind of host? I want to start that again. Oh, did I tell you, people?
Do the
Did
math.
I tell you?
Go ahead.
Have you got a minute?
I do.
Why the Avengers made so much money?
Please.
The cameo. Here's why. It was a very brief cameo, very brief at the end. A lot of people blinked their eye, or they were putting on their coat or something, and they missed it. Well, what's the first thing you say if you missed one of my cameos? I've got to buy another ticket and see it again. Half of the tickets sold were because of me.
Well
but
done,
you
man.
think they appreciate that? Oh, producers are so callous.
You open the summer with Avengers. You've now got the middle of the summer with another massive blockbuster, Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man.
And now I've peaked. I'm on his show.
What is it like to be Stan this summer, man?
And I just got back from Australia.
How was that?
Yeah, I was in Melbourne.
Okay.
And you know, it's just like being in America. People are the same.
Yeah.
Ask the same questions. You know, who's your favorite hero? Do you know Kevin Smith? That's either the first or the second thing they. By the way, I noticed you got an extra little dab of powder from that girl.
I did.
I didn't get an extra dab.
Well, I look like death warmed over, and you look like the eternal teenager.
I know. Well, I am adorable, and there's no way I can fight it.
Tell these people here, man, because this always blows my mind. Tell them, I mean, you're not, a lady's not supposed to tell her age, but tell them how old you are.
89 and a half.
Isn't that amazing?
But I'm a late model, 89 and a half.
You are one of the most spry people I've ever met. I'm not even saying, oh, he's spry for an 89-year-old. Man, you've been the ambassador of comics for my entire life.
Your whole life?
My whole life. I was reading the back of the books, the bullpen, Stan's soapbox. Like, you were the internet before the internet. You were the guy that was creating fandom before, like, fandom kind of existed.
So if I'm so great,
yes,
how come after you did Mallrats,
oh, Lord,
you have never had me do another cameo?
Well,
in any of your
do you know
cameos?
why? Because I never wanted to make a successful film. But I did ask you to be in Chasing Amy. That meant one time, right after Mallrats, I said, you want to be in Chasing Amy? You said, I will never be in this. It's a sci-fi movie. Who would ever believe a lesbian fall in love with Ben Affleck?
Although he's kind of cute, we had him as Daredevil.
That's right, man. You've been around them all, and you get to cameo in every one of the movies as well.
I missed one or two because they shot him far away, and I couldn't live. In fact, they're shooting Iron Man in North Carolina. I just came back from there. I've got to go again because that's where I'll do my cameo.
For
North
your cameo
Carolina.
as well, and that'll be
Yeah.
the third one that you've done.
I shouldn't have said that in public because if any fans hear that, they'll be mobbing the airlines. So is Stan coming here? Where's the North Carolina fan?
It'll be like the Beatles arriving in London. Yeah.
It isn't really North Carolina. I'm going to Idaho. But
as we've seen, your work this summer is all over the multiplex, but there's another creation that's at the multiplex, created by a guy that you knew back in the day. We got The Dark Knight coming, man, but you have two movies this summer. Bob Kane's got one. You win.
Bob Kane used to be a friend of mine.
Yes.
And we were close friends. And we used to go out to dinner, and he was the funniest guy. You know, I don't really, even though I seem like the biggest show-off in the world, when I'm not with you, I'm a pretty quiet guy. So I'd go to dinner, I'm eating at the table, minding my own business. Bob Kane calls the waiter over. Hey, you know who I am? I'm Bob Kane. I created Batman. Let me show you. And he draws a picture of Batman. The waiter couldn't care less. All he wants is his order. But he insisted he takes the picture, he shoves it in the guy's pocket, and tell everybody else, I created Batman. He was not a modest man.
No, not
But
at all.
aside from that, he was a great guy.
You knew them all, man. Back in the, I mean, you've worked
Most of
with
'em.
Jack Kirby, Ditko,
The greats.
the greats across the board. Can you explain to folks here and at home? Those of us who love comics know, but explain the Marvel method of writing comics back in the day.
Well, what they called the Marvel method was I didn't have time after a while to write them all. And these guys like Kirby and Ditko and Buscema and Romita, they were so good at story. They could tell a story with pictures so beautifully. So I would just say to them things like, to Kirby, I'd say, look, for the next Fantastic Four, let's have Dr. Doom kidnap Sue Storm and bring her to Latveria, and they have to go and rescue her. And I'd give them a few more details. And that was all. Jack would go home and draw the greatest thing you could imagine using that story. Then he'd give me the pages, and I put in all the dialogue to hold it all together. And it seemed as though it was done from a carefully thought out script. But in that way, I could keep a lot of artists working at the same time. But I must admit, every day, pages would come into my office, and I had to sit and write the copy. And now, how does Kent, not Kent, what's Iron Man's name? I
Tony
forgot it.
Stark.
How does Tony Stark talk? I forget.
He made you a billionaire and you forgot his name?
He didn't make me a billionaire. But I'd say, how is he different than Reed Richards? Because you have to have everybody speak differently.
Okay.
So you and I are not that. We speak the same.
Yes.
I mean, we have no personality, not talk at all.
Yeah.
But when you write fictional people, you have to have them speak a certain way. Because if they don't speak the right way, you don't think you're reading the same character.
Let me tell you why you're so darn great, because you're also so darn modest. You created our modern mythology.
Yeah, that's true. Why fight it?
I can't thank you enough, man. You've been a good friend to me for all these years. You've been a role model. When I think about writers, when I think about Shakespeare, when I think about...
He was good too.
Yes. I put you absolutely right up there with them. Thank you for being here tonight, man. Thanks for taking the time.
I get the feeling that means he's finished with me. I can take a hint.
I could do it for hours, but we got to get you
Kevin,
going.
I love you. Thank
I love
you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
Stan Lee.